Nyesom Wiki, has arrived in Dubai, United Arab Emirates, for the 2025 Asia Pacific Cities Summit and Mayors Forum. In a statement by the Senior Special Assistant on Public Communications and Social Media, Lere Olayinka, the minister who left Abuja on Sunday arrived Dubai at about 4 a.m. Monday. On arrival, the minister was received by the Consul General to the Federal Republic of Nigeria in Dubai, Ambassador Zayanu Ibrahim, as well as officials of the Federal Capital Territory Administration who had arrived earlier. The FCT officials include the Acting Executive Secretary of the Federal Capital Development Authority, Richard Yunana Dauda, Senior Special Assistant to the Minister on Legal and Multilateral Cooperation, Benedict Daudu, Director Department of Development and Control, Mukhtar Galadima, and FCDA Director of Engineering Services, Chuks Udi. The minister will on Tuesday, 28 October, lead a discussion panel in which he will field questions on the FCT and also interact with mayors on other capital cities during the summit, according to the event's organizers. According to the event organizers, the 2025 will deliver long-term value for cities and businesses seeking trade and investment opportunities in Asia Pacific, the Middle East, Africa, and South Asia and beyond. The event, which is an initiative of Brisbane City Council, Australia, is one of the most diverse convenings of mayors, city leaders, business executives, and young professionals worldwide. The statement concluded. In moving on, in a renewed drive to provide critical infrastructure for the residents of the FCT, the administration has procured 12 new ambulances and approved contracts for infrastructure provisions. This is the fallout of the FCT Executive Committee meeting at the FCT Minister's official residence in Lai Camp. Onoze Yakubu brings us details.
The FCT Executive Committee meeting deliberates on pressing needs of the residents. Briefing the media after the meeting, the Acting Executive Secretary of FCDA, Richard Yunana Dauda, and Mandate Secretary took turns to expatiate on the approval granted for their respective secretariats. These include a new access road to the old Federal Secretariat and the surfacing of some roads.
You will recall that the old Federal Secretariat has been in existence at that location since the 80s, and only one road gave access to the old Secretariat. The road had become deplorable, and the Secretariat itself, that houses several ministries and agencies, were locked in. So now an alternative access has been provided.
For the first time in about 9 years, FCT will get 12 brand new ambulances. These ambulances are according to international standards and technical specifications. They have been delivered and will be commissioned soon.
Other contracts of attention that subsequently got the approval of the ESCO are for the ratification for the supply of fertilizers, provision of instructional materials, and the rehabilitation of the youth center in Nyanya, among others.
It is indeed gratifying to let you know that the FCT Executive Committee has approved the extension of service contracts for the operation and maintenance of Jabi Pump Station and servicing of associated sewer lines.
Today at FCT ESCO, we were able to approve a memo in respect of complete renovation of Nyanya Youth Center. The purpose of this is that the youth center is where entrepreneurship training is given to our youth so that they will be self-employed.
The FCT Executive Committee meeting was chaired by the FCT Minister Nyesom Wiki. Onoze Yakubu, NTA News.
And on health, in a renewed effort at strengthening public awareness and compliance with immunization of children, the FCT administration through the Health Services and Environment Secretariat, has embarked on advocacy and field activities across the city to ensure that every child is protected against preventable childhood diseases. Onoze Yakubu again has details.
This decision follows the report that several schools denied access to vaccination teams during the ongoing measles rubella campaign, disrupting field activities and denying many eligible pupils vital protection. Moving forward, the Mandate Secretary for Health and Environment Secretariat warns that defaulters will face sanctions under existing public health and education regulations. She says the enforcement drive on immunization aligns with the provision of the Child Rights Act 2003 that mandates full immunization as a legal obligation for every child.
The truth is, when you show someone that what they are doing has saved a child's life, and you now give them 1 year of health care for free for that child, I believe they will run after us this time next year.
Dr. Fashawe notes that the FCTA has introduced an innovative approach to drive uptake by linking immunization to health insurance enrollment. She maintains that the Secretariat has also compiled lists of erring schools and initiated targeted advocacy and sensitization efforts.
When you deny these children protection against these diseases, such actions appear deeply unfair. They are concerning because these children cannot speak for themselves. They do not understand what we are talking about. We, the adults, the parents, the caregivers, the teachers, the market mothers, our godmothers, our friends are the ones who should take responsibility of protecting each and every child.
She concluded by saying that immunization is safe, effective, and essential for protecting every child. Onoze Yakubu, NT News.
The media must continue to play critical roles in strengthening democracy. Minister of Information Mohammed Idris emphasized this during activities marking the NUJ 2025 Press Week in Abuja. Aisha Bashir has more.
At the event, the minister, who was represented, commended journalists for their contributions to nation building and reaffirmed government's commitment to partnering with the media in promoting development and good governance.
This year's theme, media, public relations and governance, repositioning government spokesperson for credibility in the digital era, would not have come at a better time. It captures the essence of our collective responsibility as communicators in shaping public perception, building trust, and fostering a credible information ecosystem in our dear country.
Other speakers at the event used the occasion to appeal to Nigerians to work together in building a nation where leaders are chosen based on merit rather than mediocrity.
I am not in doubt that participants in the various media events that make up the Press Week 2025 are going to benefit greatly. I therefore hope that your interactions and resolutions in all the events, particularly in lecture and symposium, will not only elucidate and fostering off of a new orientation in media practice in Nigeria.
Every journalist has on the multifaceted hat. This directs your loyalty and your responsibility, be it as a professional, which basically deals with the ethics of the profession, to the public, and to yourself.
As part of the event, the NUJ FCT Council honored dignitaries and media professionals who have distinguished themselves in their careers. Notable award recipients this year included personalities recognized for their outstanding contributions to journalism, public service, and national development. Aisha Bashir, NT News.
We apologize for the loss of audio in some parts of that report. The Buhari Old Girls Association Boga of the Federal Government College Buhari has charged students to remain dedicated to excellence as a means of unlocking their full potential and achieving success in life. This message came as members of the association celebrated the 30th anniversary of the class of 1995 during their global reunion.
Celebration filled with music, dancing, and nostalgia as members of the Bari Old Girls Association class of 1995 returned to their alma mater to mark 30 years since graduation. The reunion rekindled friendships and created new memories of hope and shared purpose.
We are here to celebrate our 30th anniversary reunion. I cannot believe that it's 30 years since we left secondary school. This particular school here shaped us to what we are today.
We decided to come during our 30th to give back to the school because this is what brought us together. It's our foundation. We all came at 9, 10, 11 years.
That's why we're even able to come together to do this. Without that WhatsApp, we wouldn't have been able to do this. It's 30 years. Some of us are just seeing each other for the first time after 30 years.
Beyond the celebration, the alumni emphasized the need for academic excellence, urging students to remain diligent and to uphold the values of the Federal Government College Buhari wherever they go.
For the students, we have admonished them that they should focus squarely on their studies and do all they can to make sure that they do get the best out of this environment.
Girls, like they have told you today that you should find a mentor, find somebody that will be your mentor, and Boga is already your mentor. So I want you to please be kind to one another, be good to one another, and when you finally leave this school, don't forget your alma mater. Always think of coming back to give back to your alma mater.
It's a good day. The kids are doing great. This is just to add a little spark to what they already have. We wish them well. God bless.
As part of their homecoming, the Bari Old Girls Association class of 1995 donated 40 chairs and 20 tables to the school's dining hall and presented awards to outstanding students. Shamsuddin Usman, NTA News.
Hadiza Abutu Ibrahim has been installed as the 16th president of the Abuja Metropolitan Lions Club. This was at the investiture and fundraising ceremony following her election to lead the International Humanitarian Club's District 404A2 for the 2025-2026 service year. Onotu Yaku brings us highlights of the colorful event.
I am Hadiza Abutu Ibrahim, by the power conferred on me. I hereby strike myself into office for the Lion Service year of 2025-2026.
It was an open call for service to humanity, and one which Hadiza Abutu Ibrahim presented herself for with all sense of dedication. This therefore accounts for her pledge to serve with passion, unity and integrity in line with the Lions Club International's Code of Ethics.
Nigerians should expect service from the heart, service with compassion. For Abuja Metropolitan Lions Club, will be focusing, as I mentioned in my speech, on providing good and safe drinking water for selected communities, youth empowerment, and our Feed the Hungry program.
To continue putting smiles on the faces of the less privileged is our core value in our communities. Please consider donating to our project a service to God, not to human.
Memories of the evening transcend Hadiza Abutu's investiture. Members of the district's board of directors also took oaths of humanitarian service through the club, in addition to a fundraising targeted towards the club's key pillars of service in youth empowerment, healthcare initiatives, education support, and environmental interventions, amongst others.
And all we are looking for is to improve upon the less privileged. We want them to succeed. We want them to feel a sense of belonging. We want them to go out and give testimony the way God has done unto them.
My charge to them would be to continue to pursue the values of the association. They should continue to carry out projects that will directly impact on the lives of the less privileged.
Dignitaries enjoined the new leadership to bring growth, service and fellowship to the club for the service year with passion and unwavering commitment to make a difference. Established 15 years ago, Abuja Metropolitan Lions Club has lived through impactful and unwavering dedicated passion for humanitarian services with pledge to consolidate. Onotu Yakubu, NTA News.
You're watching the news at 1 on NTA Channel 5, Abuja. Time now for a break. When we return, we have more reports.
Good evening, glad to have you join us.
Thanks for joining us on Weekly News Wrap.
Thank you very much for having me.
And it is on that note we welcome you to today's edition of the program.
I will celebrate creativity, lasting impressions.
There's no book stating that this is the role for men.
On the news.
On the news at 7.
The news station NTA Channel 5, Abuja.
Would say have a lovely day.
Many thanks for staying tuned. Now, people frequently justify their inappropriate behavior by blaming government failures. However, there are concerns that leaders often come from among the followers, and that societal issue can be addressed through a bottom-up approach. As this debate and blame shifting continue, Ramat Abdullahi in this special report explores a potential solution to this issue. Let's hear it.
A true Nigerian is often seen as someone who embodies values such as selflessness, patriotism, and integrity. However, experts contend that the country continues to regress because many people have chosen to abandon these values.
Nigeria can be better when our leaders change.
The correction has to start from the home. Parents have to do their work. They shouldn't be scared to correct their children.
Experts blame game among stakeholders is unproductive, and that what is essential is finding solutions to why some Nigerians ignore glaring issues such as street children at traffic junctions, the disappearance of manhole covers on familiar roads, and everyday acts of corruption. Societal and economic pressures are often believed to lead individuals to mind their own business, focusing solely on what they can control for their survival.
Contentment is a problem that many Nigerians don't have. The churches, religious bodies, please tell Nigerians the truth that at the end of life, you don't do anything with this money.
The Director of Special Duties at the National Orientation Agency, Dr. David Akoji, points out that though successive governments have launched various campaigns aimed at promoting these values among Nigerians, however, he noted a critical question they had to contend with was, can they truly address these attitudinal changes with mere slogans?
Okay, why is it that change begins with me did not work? Why is it that do the right thing, transform Nigeria did not work? So we found two major reasons. One of those reasons was that the elements that would have instigated and nurtured those changes were not embedded in institutions. And that is why under the current leadership we have come up with what we call the National Values Charter. Attitudes are formed by values, you know, and the good thing about values is that they cut across religion, they cut across culture, you know, they cut across political divides.
Religious leaders also advocate for adherence to divine laws and principles.
For example, if I have a mosque and the president of this country or the minister or the vice president happens to be in my mosque, in my masjid now.
Now imagine going out without, imagine going years without seeing your loved ones with no clue about their whereabouts. This heartbreaking reality is the daily struggle of a hit-and-run victim who's been lying in Asokoro General Hospital for over 2.5 years, abandoned by family. Our correspondent, Hawa Gimba, gives us an update from his situation.
She was found by the roadside unconscious, broken and alone. That was over 2 years ago. Since then, Grace, as she is fondly called by hospital staff, has remained at the Asokoro General Hospital, Abuja, a victim of a hit-and-run accident, with no family or friend ever coming forward to claim her. Though her body has healed, her silence tells another story. Grace speaks to no one except a few trusted nurses who have become her family in the ward she now calls home. For the doctors and nurses, Grace is now like a family and a constant reminder of how reckless driving can shatter lives in an instant. Yet, amid her pain, the compassion of these caregivers has kept hope alive.
By April now, she'll be 3 years on bed. She has been taken care of by the hospital. The nurses are the one caring for her, and the people that came around to cheer her up as a philanthropist, they give her money. That out of that money, we use the money to feed her.
In December 2024, the FCT Mandate Secretary for Women Affairs, Dr. Adedayo Benjamin Lani, visited the hospital, pledging government support to ensure Grace continues to receive the care she deserves.
Grace is a name she was given by her caregivers here at Asokoro General Hospital, FCT. And we must commend the medical team from this hospital, because Grace, as the report states, was a hit-and-run victim, survivor from the AYA roundabout, where she was abandoned. And from that time of the accident, just shy of 3 years ago, when she was brought in here, there has been no one that has laid a claim to her, no family that has indicated they are missing an adult wife, mother, daughter, sister with a disability of being deaf.
Now, a small sign with smiling face hangs on the wall above her bed, a symbol of love and hope from those who refuse to give up on her. But doctors say she needs urgent intervention to regain her memory and possibly find her family after more than 2.5 years of silence. Still, Grace looks healthy, a testament to the dedication and humanity of the hospital staff who day after day care for her, not just as a patient, but as one of their own.
Up next is Sports Brief.
Match day 10 of the Nigeria Premier Football League season was quite eventful. Katsina United secured a 1-0 victory over El Kanemi Warriors, and Niger Tornadoes continued their fantastic start with a commanding 2-0 win against Kano Pillars at the Sani Abacha Stadium. It's been a tough start for Kano Pillars, who have gathered just 5 points in 9 matches. Warrior Wolves celebrated a 2-0 win over Bayelsa United, and Plateau United triumphed over Eyimba with a 2-1 scoreline. The newcomers had mixed fortunes, as Bara FC faced a 2-0 defeat by Abia Warriors in Umahia, while Kun Khalifat managed a 1-1 draw against Bendel Insurance in Owerri. Looking ahead, table toppers Nasarawa United are gearing up to play against defending champions Remo Stars and Rivers United, who take on Ikorodu City on Wednesday. Switching gears to continental football, the Super Falcons of Nigeria showcased their impressive prowess with a 2-0 win against the Amazons of Benin Republic in Lomé on Friday. This was the first leg of their WAFCON 2026 qualifiers, which will take place in Morocco, with goals from Chiwendu Ihezuo and Esther Okoronko. The Falcons have secured a strong lead as they look forward to the return leg on Tuesday at the MKO Abiola Sports Complex in Abeokuta. Nigerian football has truly shown in Europe this weekend. In Turkey, Victor Osimhen was absolutely on fire, scoring the equalizer for Galatasaray as they triumphed with a 3-1 victory over Göztepe Izmir. Over in Italy, Gift Orban also made his mark by scoring for Hellas Verona, helping them secure a 2-2 draw against Cagliari. For Sports Brief, Shamsuddin Usman, NTA News.
And that concludes the news at 1 on NTA Channel 5 Abuja. Thank you for watching. Good afternoon.